Hello, 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 friends. Hope everyone's having an awesome week. We're coming to the end of the week. And give you a few housekeeping tips before we get started. Look, we're excited, first of all, about this evening. And thank you guys so much for your participation up to this point, joining us on our free live sessions, which are free for now. We're so grateful that you guys have started to join and tell your friends and starting to peruse the app and find out all the incredible benefits that are going to be in this app and that are already in it. So thank you for that. As you come on tonight, let me know where you're from. Often we have probably about 10 times more people who are actually on listening than are actually commenting. So even if you're not commenting or what have you, just give me a wave or a heads up just so I know you're out there. Okay? All right. Los Angeles, California. Excellent. Who was that? Shanice Charles. Shanice Chairs. Welcome. It's good to see you guys there. Excellent. Awesome. And what we're going to do now is, again, now that you're on, hi, Crystal. See if I can see all your names here. What's up, fam? That's Yeshua. Hey, what's going on? Now that you're on, please peruse the app, find out what's happening. And listen, if you have suggestions, ideas, there are things that are not working out, let me know. What's up, Manny, Jean-Louis? Good evening, Atlanta. That's right, ATL in the house. I love it. Crystal Patrick, how you doing from Columbia, South Carolina, not the country. You're beautiful, Pastor Cal. That has to be my wife, of course. Thank you so much. Candace Gore, and of course, the one and only Nick D. How you doing? Good to see you all the way from my stomping ground in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, the DMV, as we affectionately call it. Please tell your friends, okay? Every Tuesday, every Thursday, we're on live. We're talking. We're about to start videos in some of the communities. Please join the community and get conversations going. I mean, we have some exciting communities out there. We're going to start some conversations. I want to hear your opinions, hear what you're saying, and I want you to talk among each other so that we can learn from one another also, okay? All right. Hey, Crystal. All right. I had sent you a notification on the topic for this evening because this is something that I believe with all my heart we need to talk about. We got to address this. You ever been to a restaurant and seen couples there and they're out eating or having dinner or celebrating something? And someone said, don't forget to rate the app. Absolutely. Please rate the app. 5 stars only. Thank you. You see them out there talking, at dinner, but they're not talking. They're all on their phones. They're just on their phones. And I've been thinking about this and asking myself the question, because the more conversations I have with people, the more conversations I have with single and married people, the question comes, is social media ruining old-fashioned romance? And I want to dig into this, okay? What is old-fashioned romance? Now, anybody who's older than 35, you understand what I mean by that. We're talking about actually getting to know people. We're talking about sitting at dinner and actually talking. We're talking about actually calling somebody up and not texting, but calling or experiencing life together, okay, where your eyes are on each other instead of on this little weird device in your hand. Imagine if you could go back 30 years, okay, 20 years in all honesty, but let's say 30 years. If you can go back before the invention of the smartphone, you would be absolutely flabbergasted if anyone were to tell you that today people would be walking around looking at their phones as though they're lost in them. All right. But what we're trying to do, even though we are an app, what we're trying to do, we're trying to bring back relationship in the app so that people can connect with one another and use the app as a means to connect, not as a means for you to just be absorbed. All right. The art of conversation is incredibly important. So in an era, that we live in now that's dominated by swipes and instant messages and DMs, the landscape of romantic relationships has undergone a dramatic transformation. Okay, undergone a dramatic transformation. Thank you, Nick D. And every social media platform promises connectivity, but they fall short quite often. Okay, let's talk about what are some of the problems we see, or in your own relationship, because this is not an academic discussion. I want to hear from you. I want to hear how you feel. I want to get some of your own personal stories, because when I bring you these topics, it's based on what people have told me about their relationships, about what they're going through. And so I bring that to you because I know if I can touch where people are, or scratch where people are itching when they bring me these complaints and these issues, then I know I'll get everybody. Okay. One problem that I've found, and that I've had some people to co-sign on, is that social media has brought about the death of mystery and anticipation. Did you get that? Death of mystery and anticipation. What does that mean? Gone are the days when getting to know someone happened gradually, face to face. Now you can find out everything about anyone. You can find out everything about everyone. Social media has created this environment of instant gratification, okay, where the whole idea of mystery, the beauty in relationships often is the mystery and the anticipation, not knowing, the chase. For a guy, it's the chase. But the chase is gone now. You sure enough, in most social media, a lot of social media, look up their IG, there's no mystery. There's nothing hidden. I'm seeing every part of your body. I'm seeing everything. And I know I sound like an old dude, and I really don't care. The fact of the matter is, it's affecting how people relate. Okay. Someone said here that social media competes with my wife's attention. That's what Manny says, that social media actually competes with my wife's attention. And I want to share this with you. I'm glad you said that, Manny, because when we talk about social media and how it affects relationships, we always think about dating, et cetera, but no, au contraire. Also in marriages, we're finding more and more that social media is starting to compete or starting to have an effect on marriages, with an increased emotional distance because of online distractions, or comparison with idealized relationships online. All right. And it's, I'm sorry, y'all made me break character. Y'all funny. Someone said naked, N-E-K-I-D, naked people. Jesus help us. Okay. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. So what, okay. And someone asked a question here. Yes, sure. How do you balance the need for safety versus identifying spoilers? You got to unpack that a little bit. The need for safety versus identifying spoilers. Come back, rephrase that so I know what you mean. I don't want to answer something you're not asking. No thrill of the hunt. Absolutely. Instagram model makes man look for unrealistic women. I talked to a guy once, and this was during the show, and I had matched him with what we thought was a beautiful woman. They were an Asian couple, and I thought that she was beautiful. I thought that he was good looking guy. They're completely compatible. But I asked him, was he having an affair? It's not on this season, so don't worry about it. I asked him, was he having an affair? He said, absolutely not. I said, are you sure? He said, no. I said, I want you to think about this before you answer. Is there someone else in your mind that you're comparing your wife to, and she can't reach that standard? He said, well, no, there's nobody. I said, think about it. What has social media taught you that you should be looking for? What idealized thing have you seen and are you dealing with that now you're comparing her to, and if she doesn't meet that standard, you have this fear that you've missed out. And I think this happens more often than we think. We see these AI images of people, or used to be photoshopped images of people, and now we have all these new standards that we're trying to meet. Okay? The Instagram model, Nick D says, makes the man look for unrealistic women type. Absolutely right, but I'm going to tell you this, Nick. It works both ways. I think also for women that men who are flossing their money and whatever, driving Lambos and all this stuff, it makes women look for that type. I heard it put it this way. When a woman puts a picture on IG or whatever and gets 5,000 likes and all that affirmation and all that dopamine starts to be activated and all that, all that energy and all those feelings start to be activated because of those compliments, there is absolutely no way her husband, boyfriend, or man can ever give her that kind of charge. There's no way he can ever give her that kind of charge. And so it creates this unreal expectation and this illusion that your options are unlimited, when in essence they are not. Okay? The people in your mind, have mercy. Your spouses can't compete. You're absolutely right. There's a difference between affairs in the bed and affairs in the head. Yeah, there's a difference. Affairs in the bed are obvious. But what we're finding with social media now, they're affairs in the head. And they could be just as vital and just as detrimental. Because to the mind, when you're watching this, your mind can't tell the difference. It's still the same. You're making connections with virtual people that you've never even met. Okay, here's a follow-up. Yeshua. From a woman's dating perspective of needing to be safe versus finding out everything about a person on social media, so it limits the getting to know you. Absolutely. There we go. Absolutely. From a woman's perspective, from the of needing to be safe versus finding out everything about a person. And I think that there's something to be said for that, because this idea that when you get into you find out everything about a person, just everything, and for some reason we feel safe to expose everything about us on social media. So there is no getting to know. And so what happens here is that it's easy to dismiss. You got easy early dismissal of people because I think I know a lot about you because what I see in your profile, what I see in your string, your feed, what I see about you, I think I know you, and I can form a characterization and even give you a psychological diagnosis. And I never get to know you. And so many people are missing out on good relationships or ruining their current relationships because of it. Okay? Let's continue. Okay, so this illusion of endless options. I think that the swipe culture, Tinder started that. You don't get swipe culture on this app. It's not happening. We're not swiping. And you're not going to have endless options. That's one thing when we designed this app to make sure that it did not exist. And this is not an advert for the app, not by no stretch of the imagination. But you add endless options, or the idea of endless options can ruin people. Back in the day, you go into a bar, you're at a party, you're at school or what have you. There's only a couple people that you might be attracted to, or there'll only be a couple of guys in there. You're not like, oh, well, he's no good, I'm going to swipe. No, there's no swiping. There's no swiping. You get to know people. All right? Yeah. Okay, great. Looking at your comments. Excellent. Okay. And e-conversations like texting are not as effective as in person. Oh my God. Let me talk about that for a second. Emotions, feelings, intentions cannot be determined through text. It's black and white. Emojis notwithstanding. You still can't determine feelings. LOL does not tell you how I really feel. And so we're leaving out a whole segment of personal relationship, a whole segment of interaction. We're not getting to the point where we can actually deal with each other, talk with each other, sense each other's spirit. Because there's a spirit thing, and I'm not talking religion here. There's you call it aura, whatever. There's a spirit connection between people when they're actually in each other's presence. And you can determine a lot about them by being around them, as opposed to just dismissing people online. Okay? So So this illusion that people have of endless options. Now, there's another thing that I want to share with you, another problem, and I need you to please tune in here. I think that what social media has done is caused a commodification of romance. Stay with me. It's turned dating into a marketplace. It's turned romance into a marketplace, to a commodity. Okay, so now instead of it being something that we pursue or something that we look forward to, we look at it as a commodity, something that we can keep or dispose of without any real effort. We swipe, we turn on the switch, whatever. We've commodified romance. We've taken the mystery out of it. We've taken the passion out of it. Now, what is this saying? This is saying that we have to get back to old-fashioned romance. I had a long conversation with a gentleman today, and I was talking to him, and he was saying how he's giving up on dating, yada, yada. And I told him, you're not. And I know he's not. What he was doing is he was saying that there's no one out there that I feel like, who I feel I can trust in or I can believe, because they have this attitude that everybody's disposable. And if I give them flowers, as a gentleman said on Tuesday night, if I'm too nice to you, then I'm too sensitive. Or if I speak my mind and get angry with you, then I'm too aggressive. I'm toxic. So there's no way to go. And all this has come about because of this commodification of romance. Okay? Where everyone has carefully filtered photos and strategic profile curations. It's like these witty bio statements, and all this performative posting and all this other stuff. And we like and we like and we like and we love and all. Look, I'm not anti social media. Okay. But what I am saying is when it comes to romance, if you want it to last, it has to be something of value. You cannot commodify it by swiping, by dismissing people as a result of social media. Okay. What does old-fashioned romance look like? Any steps for sparking that old school experience of love? You know what old-fashioned romance looks like? Is when a gentleman comes to call on a young lady with respect, with kindness, and with honor, and understands that the parents are to be considered, depending on your age, of course. Parents are to be considered. It's when a gentleman actually respects someone. You don't just come up and blow the horn or catch me later. I see you. No. Look, I'm going to tell you, yes, courtship. Absolutely right. Courtship. And then getting to know someone and not putting the cart before the horse. Giving each other time before you get emotionally involved or sexually involved. Giving each other time to know someone. Remember, this app is called Marriage Ain't for Punks. Not dating ain't for punks. Not screwing ain't for punks. It's marriage ain't for punks. All right? Which means, very simply, we're focusing on people who want to be married. If you just want to smash and dash, well, then this conversation ain't for you. All right? But traditional relationships, those kinds of, as Wendy is saying here, courtship behaviors, taking things slow, showing respect, growing together, thoughtful gestures, prioritizing deep connections over casual hookups. Yes, all those are what old school romance, that's what it looks like. Okay? Steps in a process, says Manny, not turn and burn. And believe it or not, statistically, men prefer more valued relationships than just a turn and burn, than just a smash and dash. Now, don't get it twisted. A man will do that, but he will see you as a commodity. But the preference, if you're looking for something, when a man starts looking for something that's long term, he's looking for that old school kind of thing. He's looking for a woman with values. I taught my daughter, I teach her constantly. Look, you must have values. You must. You cannot be the one out there hanging around. So told her, don't you ever go hanging out around gyms, basket. No, you be the one that the gentleman can look back and say, oh, she different. That's old school stuff, and separate yourself from social media occasionally to make sure you can reconnect with human relationships. Okay. All right. Another problem that we find with social media in regards to relationships is an erosion of communication. It's an erosion of communication. Well, we don't know how to talk anymore. Text-based communications. Everything is texting now. Everything is texting. And I've never seen people with faster and more carpal tunnel than we have now. Everything's a text. We do everything by that. It's absolutely insane. People, side note, kids don't even read cursive. I was at a friend's church a couple weeks ago. They were congratulating this one child because she'd done something great, and they asked her to read something which was written in cursive. She says, "I'm sorry, I can't read." Brilliant young girl. "I can't read cursive." You can't read it because they don't teach it anymore. Because we've gotten away from the things that used to matter, and a cursive or not, but it's just as an example. Building a friendship, okay? When men respected women, women respected themselves, et cetera, et cetera. You guys are absolutely right. So this erosion of communication, this inability to communicate without looking at a phone, being in the house and texting each other, all this, it actually is a deterrent to positive relationships. So it's important for you to understand. It's so important to understand that when it comes to bettering your relationship, if you're finding there's a breakdown in your relationship, the first thing I want you to do is to take a break from social media, put your phones down. Okay? Now you can come on the lives, but take a break from social media, put your phones down, and communicate with each other. It should be a rule that after a certain time, no one's on the phone in the house. It should be a rule. I'm not saying that we do that all the time, okay? But there are times where we say, let's put this away, all right? All right. Continuing, here's another. Can 20-somethings develop significant relationships without changing their generational culture? And that's a great question. I want to believe it, but I believe that the 20-somethings are actually a result of the 30s and 40 and 50-somethings. We've created them. All right. We've created who they are. We've created their culture. Right? We gave them social media. We gave them Mark Zuckerberg invented Facebook. Then Meta was then IG and then TikTok and all. Look, we did that to them. We created the culture. They live in it. OK, very few 20-somethings have invented any of this social media stuff. It's all us older guys. Right. So can we do, and just like we did that, we have to start now thinking about a way to bring them back, because I'm just going to say it. I think it's sort of dumbifying us. I do. I think it's taking away some of our neurons. All right. And now I'm about to bring to a close here, but there's another. This is so true. I remember what life was like before the social media bombings. You're absolutely right. It was a simpler life. It was a less stressful life. There's a thing going on in Japan. You can research it for yourself. It's called hikikomori. It has to do with severe social withdrawal, where sometimes, mostly in young men, but in both cases, because of their jobs and they work from home now and social media, et cetera, they don't leave their homes sometimes for 8, 12 months or a year. They're just there. They don't have to go out for food because they can bring it in. And it's causing this big problem with social isolation. And I fear that that's going to happen here as well, the hikikomori. Okay? We must learn to get back to relating to people. That's why they're called relationships. Two people who are relating to one another, going somewhere in a ship. Okay? All right. Look, we have so much to talk about here. I know we could do this. True, we're losing the ability to work on and in relationships, studying happiness of both partners. Absolutely. Crystal, I miss you. I miss guys actually approaching for conversation. Oh my God. I know, right? Guys actually talking. Now, okay, our time's almost up, but look, and we're going to continue this if you would like a part 2. We can talk about this also next week. But there's something for you to consider, that this thing about approaching one another and real communication. In fact, I think we all do this. We will do a part 2 on Tuesday. This thing about real communication is really important, because what we need to talk about is what are the responsibilities on both parties. The responsibilities of men to approach, and the responsibilities for women to allow a safe place for men to approach. Okay? Because we have to find out what is happening in our society where people are now just terrified of communicating human to human. Okay? I wish we could answer it all, but we won't today. But we're so fearful of them approaching now because of all the scammers out there. You're absolutely right. And I get that. I get that. But trust me when I say, because I interview, tens of thousands of people to be on Married at First Sight. Trust me when I say there are people out there who want human communication. They want connection. They really do. In every city we go into, we get roughly about 2,000 to 3,000 people who are trying to be married, and they want to bypass the dating and go straight to marriage. Why? Because they're sick of the crap that comes with all the dating and the social media and all that. Okay, we must stop now. Our time's up. I like the responsibility of both parties. Excellent. Okay, great. Look, no phones during meals or a certain time. If your spouse is struggling with that, have a code word. There you go. That's good stuff, honey. Have a code word, to make them stop. It can be anything. Pineapples. I don't know. Everybody uses pineapple, but have a code word. All right, guys. Look, God bless you. Please look over the app in the community. Nick D, you said you started some communities there. We're going to go and we're going to start talking. Let's continue this conversation inside our communities, and let's see if we can sort of prepare ourselves and invite people, because I'm telling you, right now it's free. You're getting this for free right now. And I keep saying right now because we're building. So right now, go ahead, go into the app, start these communities, have conversations about them, and we're going to see you guys on Tuesday. Okay?